Last news coming from Nintendo about Splatoon 2 brought a lot of questions, probably more than explanations, and in this video we will discuss about all those theories that we can imagine about this DLC. Whether it's about the story or the characters in this DLC coming out this summer, we will play an Octoling in a solo mode made of 80 zones. We will have to go from metro station to metro station to be able to join Inkopolis. In those different maps we will face Octarians, but they look a bit different from those we already know in the story mode. They have strange colors, they are like fluo, more like green and blue than the usual red. The game already presented us Octarians as enemies, but in this DLC we will play an Octarian fighting other Octarians, and it's the central element of this enigma. Let's take a look at those enemies we will fight in this DLC. Those Octolings look particularly weird. They look like classic Octolings but with different colors. Could they be a different species of Octarians, or could they be a common enemy to Inklings and the original Octarians? Maybe this common enemy will create a kind of coalition between Inklings and Octolings. This would explain why those Octolings join Inkopolis when you reach the end of this new story mode. But if you take a look to the trailer, there is more mystery than that. These green and blue colors makes your enemies look like they're sick, like if they were the result of an experiment that failed and that they came out directly from a laboratory. Are they copies of the original Octarians? Would they have been made in a laboratory? For now, we don't have any more information. We could imagine that the Octarian people, having been killed, whether in the Great War or in the different story modes of Splatoon 1 and 2, they started to create clones because they were lacking soldiers. But we can also imagine the opposite. Maybe these green and blue Octarians were created by the Inkling people, because in this trailer we mostly see Captain Cuttlefish followed by Agent 3. Maybe he created those clones to train the Agent 8. We could imagine that those 80 zones are in fact a training station from the new agents coming. It's not really like that Agent 3 in Splatoon 1 and 4 in Splatoon 2 have been trained, but maybe Captain Cuttlefish got tired of Octarian's attack and he decided to use this new training mode for his new agents. In any case, it's quite special. I can't really imagine Captain Cuttlefish doing that, creating such a vast underground zone, only to use it as a training room. What is the role of this subway and the characters who are inside? It's quite strange. There is a scene from this trailer that is full of mysteries. We see a lot of different characters in the subway ram, the Agent 8 who walk between them, and when the agent come out of it, all the characters got replaced by Octolings. This is really disturbing. It's like being in a nightmare in which the characters will be replaced by enemies. Can Octolings change form, or is it just a video that lets us think that? We will have answered later when the DLC will come out. Now let's focus on Captain Cuttlefish's agents, mostly the Agent 8, but before, why number 8? Well, we can assume that if the agent we see in this trailer is a number 8, it's because Octolings come from the word Octo, which means 8, so it's a small hint to that. But who are the other agents? If we summarize a little bit, we know Agent 1 and 2 are Kelly and Marie, Agent 3 is the character we are playing in Splatoon 1, Agent 4 is the one we are playing in Splatoon 2, but who are the Agent 5, 6 and 7? Well, maybe we can imagine this. Agent 5 and 6 are Pearl and Marina. We see them too in this trailer. They are also in the subway and they speak to Captain Cuttlefish. Maybe those idols are also agents, just like Kelly and Marie in Splatoon 1. And if it's the case, then we are missing only number 7. Who is he? Could it be the Octoling boy we can see in this video? Or is this Octoling boy only here to make us understand we will be able to play as a male Octoling? Does he have a role to play? Is there another agent really? Nothing is sure yet. There is still a little mystery at this point. If Agent 8 is an Octoling, it means those fluo Octarians that we were talking about earlier are indeed different. They probably have a special role, because it's hard to think that Octoling could jump into a fight against his own people. Obviously, there is an hidden mystery behind all that. But maybe this mystery isn't about the fluo Octolings, but about Agent 8. In this trailer, there is a real plan that shows us number 8 and the Octoling boy in the tank. This explain is very interesting. It looks like something you can see in ARMS with all the Helix clones. It is possible that Agent 8 is a clone too after all, or an Octoling that have been created artificially. Is it the same for male Octolings? Actually, until then, we didn't really see any males Octoling. They were kind of absent of the story. Is it because of this that they decide to recreate males artificially? One thing is sure, on her wrist, Agent 8 has a kind of identification badge with the number 10008 written on it. Do we have 10,007 other clones before her? It makes us think she could be a clone. They could have been created in a large number. Maybe the green and blue Octolings are only failures of this experimentation. It could be the plot of this new solo mode. There is a theory on internet based on various elements of this trailer, and especially on the appearance of the new Octolings. If we compare what we knew about Octolings so far, well, this design is a little bit different, and especially their eyes. Until now, Octolings were shown to us with a purple lower line. What the characters introduced today is very different. Their eye contour is totally black, but eyes are not the only difference with the classic Octolings. We also have some difference with their tentacles. If we look at the Octolings in the story mode, we don't have a gradient red, but a solid red color with their hairstyle. Those new Octolings have, like the Inklings finally, a gradient in their tentacles. It's darker. We can notice that they have colorful spots. Inkling have the same on their own tentacles, but other weird thing is a new octopus form that has been introduced with the image that came with the trailer. In this form we see the colorful spots I was talking about. We can also see the color gradient. This octopus form also has suction cups on the white part of its tentacles, something that the Octolings do not have on their humanoid form. Actually, one of the biggest difference between Inklings and Octolings is that the Inklings have suckers on the white part of their tentacles, while the Octolings have suckers on the colored part. But here, in this form of octopus, it is reversed, and it's quite mysterious. It corroborates the theory saying that those new Octolings might not be 100% Octolings, but could have been crossed with Inkling DNA. Are those new characters actually the result of an experiment that would have crossed the DNA of the two races? Maybe it's our character that we are playing in Splatoon 2 that changed into Octolings. There is a short text about it on the official Splatoon 2 website. It sounds like we woke up transformed into Octoling. This might be not the case and just be here to keep the suspense. By the way, in this trailer, Agent 8 was also introduced with an enigmatic sentence. It doesn't say that Agent 8 is an Octoling, but it says that she looks like an Octoling. Should we pay attention to this kind of details, or is it just a trap sentence to confuse us? In any case, it's quite enigmatic. We can't deny the fact that the new Octoling design is quite different than the one we knew. Maybe they just reworked the design to make it more attractive, or is it really linked to the story? We probably have to wait a little bit to know more about this, but there is a really big argument for the hybrid Octolings theory. It's based on the ears, because most of the time Agent 8 is shown on their left profile. This profile allows us to see that this Octoling has a well-rounded and hollow ear, and not sharp and flat like Inklings. But if we pay particular attention and look for very specific image on which we see a right profile, we can see something really disturbing. Her other ear is different. Her left ear is rounded and hollow, but her right one looks much more like an Inkling ear. This ear isn't hollow at all, it's just as flat as the Inkling ears, and we can clearly see the difference in some pictures, even if it's pretty hard to notice. This physical characteristic isn't only related to Agent 8, because actually on all the pictures where you can see Octoling playable in the online modes, we also see this difference with the ears, with always a rounded and hollow left ear and a right flat ear looking like a triangle. What would justify this asymmetry other than an hybridization between Inklings and Octolings? Maybe their right ear contains Inkling ear prints more than their left ear. This argument can be used with the hybrid theory, and finally, what this trailer is telling us is that once the solo mode is over, then the Octolings will be playable in Splatoon 2, and maybe we ended a war between two species, or maybe we invited those clones in Inkopolis and let them live with us. Overall, it's either one or the other, and in any case, it's a good news that new characters are playable. I still want to know if the people who won't have this DLC will be able to see those new Octarians, won't change for them, and they're still gonna see them as Inklings. For now, we don't know. I hope you enjoyed this video about all those theories. Don't hesitate to like, comment, share and subscribe. You can see more videos like this on my main channel called EvilSquid. They are all in French, but they almost all have English subtitles. Feel free to look at it if you're interested with more Splatoon 2 videos.